What's the one piece of career advice you wish someone had given you when you were starting out?
A lot of the time, and when you're getting your very first job, the emphasis on hard skills, so programming languages, frameworks, algorithms, whatever. But in the real world, software development's a team effort. There's a person on the other end of the code review. If you want to do a piece of work a particular way, you need to convince your boss, or you need to convince their non-technical boss. So your soft skills, your people skills are really important. You need to understand that stakeholders within a business don't have the same priorities as you. As a developer, the code is the thing that you want to do. It's the way that you solve problems. But for a user, it's the thing enabling them to do their job, or if you get it wrong, making it harder for them to do their job, stop preventing them from doing the work that they need to do. So having empathy for your users is a really important skill. I went to a meetup recently, and one of the speakers said something that really resonated. Your job is not to write code, but to add value to the business. And your communication skills are key to understanding what the business actually needs and wants, and then turning that into a software product that's useful to the users and actually meets the business goals.
Can you share a pivotal moment in your career that made a significant impact?
I mean, for me, I think it was perhaps somewhat obviously getting my first job as a professional software developer. So I didn't start out intending to be a software engineer. I didn't go to university and study computer science or that kind of classic route in. I started writing code because I wanted to solve business problems. I was working in a management information role, really, which was looking after third-party databases, managing certain data sets, and using SQL and other tools like that. And sooner or later, you hit a limit and you start writing code, and code solves your business problems. So you get more and more into it. And I've been writing code for 5 or 6 years, written an internal app in VBA and Access and SQL, and was supporting multi-million-pound projects, multiple internal users. But it wasn't really going anywhere. There was no opportunity for progression. And actually I did an HNC in the evening class over a couple of years, and that just sort of tipped the balance along with all my experience and enabled me to get my first proper job. And then once you're a software developer, there's a culture of lifelong learning. So if you show an interest and if you show an aptitude, most jobs will let you learn on the job, learn by doing, learn from other developers. And at that point in time, everything just sort of snowballs. And then, your ability to do the job well increases exponentially. Working with good people makes you a better person. And the opportunities that come your way once you're a professional developer are much more significant once you've broken in. It's the breaking in that's the hard part.
And I suppose it stems back to the first question where, if you're adding value to an organisation, that they're going to continue to invest in you and continue learning that's going to benefit them also.
Absolutely. And I think these days things are very much more self-directed. I think your boot camps, your courses of any description, whether university or college or whatever, they're all about really getting the foot through the door. And you're expected to learn, to read, to blog, to experiment, to try things, to do certifications or whatever. But it's very nearly all self-directed once you get past that initial "I'm a developer now" stage.
How do you approach challenges and setbacks in your professional life, and what's your go-to strategy for overcoming them?
Honesty and communication are really the two sort of techniques that if you try to cover things up, it will eventually come back and bite you on the backside. If you own your own mistakes or be honest and open about how mistakes happen and everybody does it, communicate at all levels to the relevant people, give users an idea how long it is, or at the very least tell people that you're working on whatever problem is taking production down as their top priority. Or if you don't get a certain piece of work or a certain internal promotional job, you need to get feedback from it. You need to try and be open to understanding what was missing. Did you fail to understand what the business requirements were properly? Did you get a brief but not really get, sometimes there's a big problem, people saying what they think they want, not what they actually want. So it comes back down to communication again. So getting honest feedback, being honest about your own mistakes, being non-critical and just pulling together to solve problems as a team. If there's something's gone wrong, you get a call in the middle of the night, health production's gone down, being clear about what you're trying to do, about what the problem is, and about talking to all the relevant people gets the problem done.
I'd read a book recently by a former Navy SEAL, Jocko Willink, and his book's called Extreme Ownership, and it's about accountability. And as soon as you address a mistake, rather than burying your head in the sand, you're going to tackle it much faster. Absolutely.
I think it everybody makes mistakes, and most people recognise that, but it's always about recognising that you've done it and admitting it, rather than trying to just push it under the carpet or blame somebody else or whatever. And in this day and age, pretty much everything's gone through at least 2 or 3 pairs of eyes and through a build server or two before that. So there's a certain level of it's not ever an individual's responsibility for it, but nevertheless accepting that and taking ownership of the problem is definitely the way forward.